everybody, it's your favorite policy and research analyst Hannah Williams, and I'm coming to you back with another video. Now today's video is going to be a little bit different. We're going to be starting history with Hannah. That's right, I originally got my degree in history. That is my trade. I'm going to school again to advance my studies in the field of history, and I figured it would be pretty cool to inform you guys or give you guys like some brief history segments about some of the most major things that have ever shaped America's history, obviously. So today's topic is going to be about the Civil War. Okay, this is an incident that greatly shaped our nation. One, and two, being that we're in Mississippi, it greatly impacted Mississippi as well. So I'm gonna get into just a really brief overview of the United States Civil War that basically ended up freeing all the black folks. Okay, well, not all the black folks, but some of the black folks. Everybody knows that during this time period, and this is like the early 1800s, advancing into the mid 1800s, that the North's biggest industry was manufacturing. That's what they were doing. They were making things in factories, putting things together, building things. You had a couple of steel mills going on, but like industry in general was what the North was doing to maintain its economy. Now, if you are a yarn maker or a fabric maker in a factory up north making 5 cents an hour, where do you think the material comes from for you to be able to put that textile together to make it a textile? The South. Okay, so the South's biggest industry was agriculture at this time. The South's biggest industry is still low-key agriculture, but that's what we were doing. We were growing things. Of course, we were growing more than just cotton, but we were growing tobacco, and you had various sugar canes and all types of wheats and corns and everything. Okay, we was growing stuff. It's not only how we maintained individual households, but it's also how we maintained our economy down here in the South. Now you have all of these big, expansive plantation type farms, and how else do you think you're going to be able to pick or harvest those many acres of products cheaply and effectively? Well, slavery has entered the chat. Slave labor was the most cost-efficient way for plantation owners to be able to produce a product in mass quantity and also process that product in a mass quantity before shipping it off. Okay, so with that being said, once we get towards the 1830s, slave owners, or the slave industry itself, was trying to expand into western states, and that kind of made some people up north nervous for whatever reason. Abolitionists were kind of like, yeah, we don't really know about that one, sis. Like, y'all might want to tiptoe on back to where y'all at before y'all try to go out west with it. But that's essentially what was happening. They were getting ready to expand west, or were trying to expand west, and again, it was making abolitionists very uncomfortable with the fact that y'all ain't figured out a better way to do this than to keep people against their will and make them do the work. So in 1854, the U.S. Congress actually passed the Kansas-Nebraska Act, which ended up opening up all territories to slavery. And of course, the abolitionists up north were absolutely not having any of that, okay? So again, we have reached 1854, so things are about to start getting heated and kick up a little bit, okay? So after Lincoln was elected,
hey you guys, it's feature editing me. One of my clips didn't save, so I'm gonna go ahead and fill you in on what happened, or what I was saying. So after Lincoln was elected, sorry, my dog is whining. So after Lincoln was elected in 1860, the people who were very much so pro-slavery decided to go ahead and just jump out of the Union altogether. So those states were South Carolina, Mississippi, Florida, Alabama, Georgia, Louisiana, and Texas, and that's how those are the original states of the Confederacy. And this is also where the idea of like the rebels come from. So yeah, those states decided to go ahead, jump into the Confederacy. I'm sorry. Have their own armies, their own presidents, like everything. They were their own complete functioning government, and they were no longer technically a part of the United States.
So yeah, those were the original Titans of the Confederacy. Granted, there are definitely other southern states that were still pro-slavery and pro, you know, wanting to keep intact this free labor workforce, but them the states that decided it first. So from 1861 to 1865, you guessed it, war. Lots and lots of war. After the Confederate States were formed, Lincoln went ahead and was like, you know, I don't really like what y'all doing. I'm gonna send some people down there to get y'all together. And the South was like, actually, no, you're not. So within that time period, two of America's greatest military minds ever to be birthed were put in charge of basically a lot of the maneuvering that was happening within side of the Civil War. That is Ulysses S. Grant fighting for the Union side, and Robert E. Lee fighting for the Confederate side. Both of these men proved to be pretty much military strategy masterminds. Okay, and some of the most notable battles came from the ones that they were actually leading. One of those was actually the Siege of Vicksburg, which is Mississippi's claim to fame. Okay, a lot of people don't really understand what happened at the Siege of Vicksburg, so I'm just gonna get into it really quickly. But basically, Union soldiers cut off the network of supplies via the Mississippi River to Confederate soldiers, and basically held Vicksburg hostage until they decided that they was gonna like low-key surrender. A water boat did end up getting shot down. It's now on display at the Military Park Museum there, which is a great place to go look and get educated about what happened at the Siege of Vicksburg. So and the Battle of Vicksburg was a major hit to the Confederate soldiers and the Confederate units. And you know, there were lots of other very significant battles that were won by the Union side in this time period as well, that also shaped what was happening and how fast the Confederate armies were gonna end up kind of like deteriorating and like breaking up a little bit. So after the signing of the Emancipation Proclamation, okay, it basically, by President Lincoln, it basically stated that after January 1st of 1863, all slaves in Confederate states would be free. Now, this did not free everybody. As we all know, this ain't free everybody. And you know, there's a quote by Abraham Lincoln that goes something like, if I could free some of the slaves and not all of them, I would have did that. Or if I could free all of them and not whatever. Basically, he was saying if he could end the war without having to free anybody, he would have. But that is not how it panned out. A whopping 186,000 freed black slaves joined the Union armies by 1865, which is of course the end of the war. So also around this time, our good old President Abraham Lincoln decided that he wanted to expand Ulysses S. Grant's power within the military and also expand his forces. And by giving him that extra firepower, it basically pretty much helped propel the Union into putting them in favorable positions to go ahead and just snatch this war on up, honey. Okay, so because of that, he basically had victory after victory after victory in the state of Virginia and around the DC area. So we all know what happened to President Lincoln. He was assassinated, and of course that had the nation on pins and needles.
Hey guys, sorry, another clip went missing, so I'm just gonna quickly sum up the end of the Civil War for you guys. So before the president was actually assassinated on April 15th, Robert E. Lee had already surrendered a very small portion of his army in Virginia to Ulysses Grant. And basically what had happened at this courthouse was an agreement that served as the end of the Civil War, but really the war didn't end until August 20th of 66, when President Andrew Jackson could officially declare the war over, because a lot of other Confederate armies had yet to surrender. So it was just pretty much a domino effect, and people start surrendering, and it took 16 months for it to happen, but after that, that's when the war was officially declared over.
So there you have it. I don't know how quick that was, but I hope it was pretty thorough of a summary. If you have any questions about some other things that happened in the Civil War that you want more information on or insight on, like hit us up, let me know. You know what I'm saying? I'll be happy to answer those questions for you. Leave a comment down below if you would like to suggest a topic for us to talk about on History with Hannah. I'm literally open to everything from Chinese dynasties to the Russian Revolution. Like, I don't care. I'll talk about whatever. I love history. Like, literally, I like it for real. Like, I literally like history. Okay, so I hope you guys enjoyed that video. Make sure you rate, comment, and subscribe. Follow Mississippi Votes on all social media at MS Votes. Hit that notification bell so you'll be notified every time we post a video on this channel, and I will see you guys in the next one.